good morning or good evening or wherever you are in the world, getting all the buttons going. One of my teachers a long time ago said, if you can, when you get up in the morning and you get your shoes on the right feet, you're doing great. So I'd like you to just celebrate that here you are, and you're presentable enough to be on a Zoom call, whatever that means for you. And I was also thinking about I'm imagining we're at the time in the pandemic where there's a kind of flattening or a kind of that you've been doing stuff and you've been hanging in there and you've been being of service and giving people attention, and it's just gone on, and lots of people are being stupid and we're being inconvenienced by that stupidity. And so I wanted to really focus on basics today, because what I have found is that whenever I'm not feeling a circulation of my attention, that I'm not really opening to the possibility of the healing power of my attention. And of all of your resources, this one is completely free, and it allows you to choose where you're aiming. It's kind of like either a hose, or I was also thinking that it's summertime, and so when I was a kid, the big delight was to have the sprinkler on in the backyard, and it was a big spray sprinkler, and then we would run through the sprinkler and feel the refreshment of the water, and also going through the water and different ways of going through the water. And then we also, sometime back there, the slip and slide came into, became popular. And so the idea that you can also slide on your attention, that your attention is in a way the same as the water that composes 80 to 90% of your body. And the way that that circulates really determines whether you feel alive. And your aliveness can be a source of inspiration, not only for you, but for others. And so one of the things I wanted to play with today was the different qualities that you can have with your attention, but just reviewing again, the great power of attention is that we can choose where we place it. And so I'd like to just start with very simply having you look out around you and then notice when you're deliberately looking and being curious. So create a and look around and notice where your attention lands. Now, I have, as I imagine you do also, a pretty strong what's wrong habit. Like when I look out, I look for, oh gosh, that orchid, it looks like it's getting dry. I'm going to need to water it. So notice when you first look out, if you're looking for what's wrong. And notice the particular way that you look for what's wrong. Like, oh gosh, there are drops on the window again. People have not been spraying the water properly, and now I've got drops on my clean window. Or if it's something like, oh God, I was going to take that back to the library, and it's been sitting there for 4 months. So let yourself notice how you look for what's wrong. And then I'd like you to notice what happens in you. Like now, notice body sensations. And when you've been looking for what's wrong, notice what body sensations come up for you. So when you bring your attention back to your body, it was like, oh God, I feel a tight shoulder, slept wrong, or, it's a kind of a rah, 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 rah. So notice the rah, 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 rah quality in here. And then and then just take a moment to love that. Okay, we have a very strong what's wrong habit, and it's been of evolutionary value. So the ability to notice what's wrong has kept us here. And you're here because of lots of generations of people who could notice what's wrong before their neighbors did. So that has a lot of evolutionary value. But also notice the quality of aliveness when you're looking at what's wrong. So for me, it's a kind of a deflation. And let yourself just exaggerate that a little bit in your body so that you can really give your attention to really honoring the what's wrong habit. And I just want to assure you that we're not going to get rid of that. We're not ever going to get rid of that. That's wired in. And we can choose where we're putting our attention. So now I'd like you to create a delicious and I'd like you to let yourself use some fear melters to take the through your body. I can feel it in my back. I can feel it in my ribs, the at the pitch that feels the most delicious to you, through a whole out breath, letting that vibrate through you. And then as you're focusing on shifting your attention, which is basically the loop of awareness, I'd like you to notice something. I'd like you to notice a color out in the world around you that you hadn't noticed before. Like right out my window, there's this amazing kind of scarlet red of a red bud tree that's right outside my window. And so I'm going to that and let the extend all the way out to that. And then return the and let it land in my body, anywhere that has been feeling deflated or flat or compressed or, yes. And then let your body reverberate when it lands. Just go ahead and let your body reverberate, just like you were as a child running through the sprinkler. And when you felt that delicious spray, how your body receives that. Because part of what I want to encourage us to do today is to open our receivers. Because my sense is, as I think I was saying last week, that the world is courting us right now. There's such beauty and out in the world. So this would be for yourself, since you have the sound off, make a sound, like a sound of satisfaction. So you add a little more oomph to your or an or woo. And let your woo go out into the world to notice something of beauty that you haven't given your attention to. And let it land. Feel that, and then return your attention with that beauty. And let the beauty land in you, expanding your internal experience of the beauty expanding. And any impulse that you're inclined, so I notice some of you touching yourself, I notice some of you moving. Certainly let yourself make the sounds that come with that for you. So you're letting yourself, it's like the big sprinkler is going out, and then the big sprinkler is coming back into you. And you're letting yourself receive the The refreshment of your attention. And when you let your attention go out, let yourself notice if there are any little nooks and crannies that you overlook. You just kind of go by them. And when you return, also let yourself know, is there any place inside that you haven't been giving your attention to? And let the sprinkler of your attention sprinkle over any part in you that's wanting your attention. So you're simply circulating your attention out with that kind of fine spray and then back into you. And also, when you go out, remember that you have out to the sides of you, and that you also have behind you. There's this whole world behind you that you can sense into with your attention, that you don't have to look at with your eyes. So let the sprinkler involve more senses, your hearing, your sense of touch. So like I can, as I'm moving my arms, I can feel the air. So letting the circulation of your attention be moving around you, behind you, and inside you, any places like under you, under your feet, under your seat if you're sitting. And let the sprinkler, that fine spray of your attention, there's also the one that goes, that's a little bit too aggressive for me this morning. But if you're wanting a really big spray of your attention, you can also go, and then there are also the ones, the big fountains. You could do a Las Vegas fountain of attention where all of the sprays come up and then land on you. So it just depends on the range we have such a range of how we can use our awareness and our attention. And then just pause for a moment and let your awareness go inside and noticing, is there any place in you that's still feeling a little dry? It's feeling a little neglected, like, oh, I'd like a little more here. I know I already got some, but I want a little bit more here. And I'm noticing lots of you touching. So let's bring in now our love scoop. So you can reach out around you. You can reach under you into the pool of love, and let that be part of your sprinkling yourself. Is you're coming into the big pool and then letting that literally touch or spray over or swirl around you. And then be letting that love that you're experiencing, that love scoop, send that out anywhere and to anybody that you're feeling drawn to. So if you're feeling drawn to some of sending love to some of the protests, let that, particularly the love and the refreshment of water and love, let that extend out into your community to people that you haven't seen in a while that you miss, or people that you no longer see or aren't in your life, and let that extend out to them. And what I want to invite you to do this week is anytime that you're feeling that sort of meh, I'd like you to just recall the summer sprinkler and let yourself go ahead and enter into it so that you're able to give it to you and you're able to give it to the people around you, the ones you know and the ones you don't know. So let's take 30 seconds to unmute and make loving humming sounds or hellos or here I am or I want some love. Yeah, And thank you so much for your attention, for your giving and receiving love, and let that continue through the week until next time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye for now.